What's up, you guys? Welcome back to 2740 Solutions, home of the best trained, highest paid, and fittest problem solvers on the planet. My name's Adam. Today we're talking Wolf of Wall Street. And no, we're not going to just watch that 2-hour crazy movie where, Leonardo DiCaprio is crashing Lambos and sinking yachts. As much as I would like to, we have more things to do. We have actual value to pull out of his book, and by his, I mean Jordan Belfort, the man behind the legend, the myth, whatever you want to call it, Jordan Belfort. So his book, Way of the Wolf, which I listened to on Audible. If you guys want a free title, including this one, go ahead and check that link below. It is to Audible to sign up, and that book specifically could be your first free book, along with a couple Audible originals every month. So I use Audible because I like to listen to books, read them with my ears. I have a tough time sitting down. I can only read for like 15 minutes if I'm reading like a hardcover. So I much prefer using Audible. I crank through books, try to average one book a week at minimum. So with that being said, let's hop into it. So just a disclaimer, this video series on his book, Way of the Wolf, is going to be a multi-video, probably 5 to 7 video series, and we're actually going to deconstruct the physical systems and tactics he outlines in the book so that you can be a more effective salesman or woman no matter what role you're in. Whether you're an actual, car salesman, real estate agent, whatever it may be, you work at Best Buy, whatever it is, or if you're, in the military, or if you're a parent, everyone has to sell everyone else in the world, like whether it's your kids, whether it's your customers, whatever, you have to sell in your life. So this video will actually get into the first chapter, and it's very dense, of the straight line system, which is the overarching macro portion of this book. It's the straight line system. So with that being said, let's hop right into it, and we'll establish what the straight line system is, because that is what the rest of the book is about. So the straight line system, we're going to go ahead and use the S209, the Subaru S209. Now keep in mind that the wheels on this one are gray. They're not gold like the one down in the garage, but that's okay. So straight line system. All right. So there's 3 parts of the straight line system. You have on a scale of 1 to 10, and it's basically a certainty scale, but you have 3 different straight lines. You have the product, you have you as the salesperson, and then you have your company. So I'm going to go ahead and write the product in here, and then we're going to talk about that and what the product actually means. So we'll grab our marker here, and we'll jump into it. So as far as the product goes, if you're a salesperson and you are not selling a product that you could actually see yourself buying or using, or you find valuable in some way, then it's going to be hard for you to be hyper successful. Now, if you're a born salesperson or you are just fundamentally sound, yes, you can probably get behind it and sell a decent amount. But belief in that product is going to help you and help your customer be that much more certain, that much closer to your level 10 on the certainty scale, on that straight line, and help them buy the product. Now, no customer is the same, and Jordan makes this very clear to us. No customer is the same. You don't have to be at all 10s in order to close that deal, to go ahead and go forward that transaction. However, if you get to a 10, 10, 10, obviously that is your best chance, because everyone has a different threshold. But with the product, the main thing for the product is that you can convince the customer that they are certain that the product is providing value above and beyond what they are giving you or giving the company in return for that product, service, goods, whatever it may be. It's not just, not just a physical product, not just this model car right here, not just whatever. It can be, the service, a marketing service, whatever it may be. So keeping that in mind, people are going to buy that product based on what they think will make their lives better. So they're not just buying it because it's just a random thing they're just going to buy. They just want to spend money. No, they're buying it because they think they're going to make their lives better. They don't know, they think. So keeping that in mind, you need to make sure that they are certain that they think this product is going to make their lives better. So the first part of the straight line system, just to cap that off, is the product. You want them as far to the right or as far along, however you want to look at it, vertically or horizontally. I think left to right just because I read left to right. but you want them as far along the straight line to a 10 out of 10 certainty that they think they need that product. Now, second is you as the salesperson. They need to be certain that they trust you. So we'll put you. So as the salesperson, if they think you're a snake oil salesman or a snake in the grass, I guess snakes are just a common way of describing untrustworthy salespeople, but they need to be certain that you have their best interest in mind and that you are a subject matter expert or that you are a professional at your trade. So, right now, if I came to this video wearing like a cutoff tank top and I looked all not unshaved and I had no idea what I was talking about, then you guys would be uncertain of the product that I would be selling you, right? So you need to make sure that you come in high energy, which a lot of this gets talked about more in the book. Remember, this is only the first chapter, but we're outlining the straight line system, which is the macro concept for all the micro chapters in the book. So they need to be certain that you have their best interests in mind and that you are a true professional. They're not just dealing with some Joe Schmo trying to sell them a $20,000, $30,000, $100,000 car, $500,000 house, whatever it may be. People like that professional sales experience. Now, just a little tangent, but in my opinion, the sales industry is getting too casual. When I go to car dealerships, I see salesmen, with untucked shirts, untucked polos. I rarely see ties anymore. God forbid someone's wearing a suit jacket anymore, right? So just, when I go somewhere and I'm looking to spend thousands of or hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? I generally want that person to dress professionally as well as act professionally. Now, if I had to choose one, I'd obviously choose them being an expert in acting professionally, even if they're dressed kind of like a bum. But, dressing goes a long way towards making that good first impression. So, again, the farther along you get them certain that you are professional and that you have their best interest in mind, the closer they will get to that 10 level of certainty, which will just further increase their chances of saying yes and you closing that deal. Number 3 is the company that you work for, the company that you represent. Now, this one, in my opinion, is kind of the most loaded and also has the most ramification before you even meet the person, right? Because if you're a salesman for Toyota, there is a lot of weight behind the Toyota name, that people, it's not the first time they heard Toyota. So for instance, if you guys have never heard of Webull before, that's a stock trading app. It's similar to Robinhood, but if I say Robinhood, you guys probably have heard of that, maybe slight chance more than of Webull. So if I'm pitching you guys, get 2 free stocks below in the description by clicking the Webull link, then you guys are less certain in that company or that product, kind of go hand in hand. The product they offer is all the trading stuff, but Webull in general is the company. You guys are less certain about that company than if I had, pitched Robinhood. So the company goes a long way. Now, some people, like a Toyota is a kind of a safe bet. Toyota is just mainly known for reliability. It's not going to get anyone crazy excited. Whereas like if I pitch maybe a Tesla, some people, people who love diesel trucks would be like, Tesla, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you won't be able to sell them a Tesla most likely, unless maybe you lined up a Tesla and drag race their tuned diesel and you smoked them with a Tesla, maybe. But other people who are super environmentally friendly, have the money for a Tesla and are looking to kind of make a fashion statement, then, saying Tesla, they're going to be super excited about that, which helps you out because if you have someone come into a Tesla dealership and you're a Tesla salesman or woman, and they come in and they're already at a 10 and you don't have to convince them anything about the company, then that did 1/3 of the work for you. Heck, that might even done 2/3 of the work for you because if they know they want a Tesla and they know they want a Tesla SUV, Tesla only has 2 SUVs, so you basically have them shoot in for the company and the product. So as long as you don't botch it as an unprofessional looking, sounding, unmotivated salesperson, then you're gonna get the sale. So company goes a long way to that deal. So just a reminder, if you guys want those 2 free stocks with the trading app Webull, which is very similar to Robinhood, the link is below in the description. The first stock is free when you just make the account. The second stock, which is valued up to $1,400, comes after you deposit your $100. But that's $100 of your money that you are investing. So it's not costing you anything. You're just starting your investment journey on that app. I prefer it to Robinhood, but I can do a whole analysis of Webull at another time. So the last thing we're going to touch on in this video, now that we've established the straight line system, which is a scale of product 1 to 10, a scale of you as the salesperson on a scale of 1 to 10, and the company on a scale of 1 to 10, that's all certainty. Now, there's 2 types of certainty that Jordan talks about in this book. There is logical certainty, and then there's also emotional certainty. Now, logical certainty, we haven't gotten into the further chapters yet, but these are both, you're gonna have to kind of juggle these, because some people think very logically and other people think very emotionally. So the way he broke it down in the first chapter is logical certainty is all the objective, logical reasons why this product is a good or a great value. Now, if we're talking great value, then you're starting to hit that 10 right there, and then residual 10 here, right? So logical certainty, hey, with this Tesla, you're going to get a $6,500 tax rebate. In addition, you're going to save $7,000 a year in gas because you live in California and gas is like $4 a gallon. And all the logical reasons, or and it's a business write-off if you have a business, whatever. All the logical reasons that person can not only convince themselves it's a logical purchase and a great value, but perhaps convince someone else. If you have that person so logically convinced that it's a great product that they can convince someone else that either it was a good decision for them, or perhaps even get that other person logically convinced that they should buy it, you're right coming up on that 10 area where you want to be. Emotionally, that's where it gets a lot more wishy-washy, and in my opinion, the emotional one is going to be harder for me as a salesperson to really hone in on. And that's why I really love when books give me these systems, because it gives me a framework within which to work. It's not just some sort of like, you need to call 100 people, and out of 100 people, 10 of those are going to be semi-qualified, and out of, it's not as like motivational. It's just a straight up, hey, this is the framework within you will work, and then here's the scripts that you will use, and this is how you close. This is a great framework. So let's touch on emotional a little bit. So it's more feeling. So it's based off of the feeling that the product will give. So if we're talking Tesla again, we'll keep using the Tesla example. So the feeling that Tesla will give the person, is the feeling they're looking for a smooth ride while they're using the autopilot system where they barely have to even pay attention to the road? Or is the feeling that they're getting that they're, they think they're saving the environment because it's a zero emission vehicle? Or is it more of a fashion statement? Do their neighbors have Teslas, or do they want to be the first on their street with a Tesla? Something like that. And this is where you get into some of the really nitty-gritty stuff that he talks about, which we'll just touch a little bit, which is future pacing. So this emotional side of the house is where you need to really create that beneficial future scenario in their head. Play that video again for them. That's why video is so powerful. Play that video in their brain form. You can have them imagine. That's why test drives are so important in the car world. They can imagine themselves rolling through their neighborhood and being the first person on the block to have a Tesla. Or they can imagine themselves saving thousands a year, because they have a Tesla. Or really whatever it may be, just that emotional, you future pace them, you help them go through that best case scenario in their brain so they see that insane amount of value you're bringing to the table, and that will get them both logical and emotional certainty. And these while they are separate by definition, they will play off each other because it can flick the domino. If you're emotionally certain, you can start making logical decisions and you flick that domino, and vice versa. If something is so logically airtight that you just can't shoot a hole in it, then you can probably emotionally get on board with that. So this is going to get really into your customer and how you're dealing with body language and all that other stuff. So future videos, but again, just to sum it up, what he introduces in this chapter, which I highly recommend you guys listen to this book on Audible. Again, the link is below, and you can get this book for free if you just start signing up for Audible. It's the straight line system. So you have these straight lines, and they all represent certainty. Certainty, your customer's certainty on the product, your customer's certainty about you as the salesperson, and your customer's certainty about your company. And remember, there's two types of certainty, though. There's logical and emotional. Logical, emotional. So if you guys want me to get even deeper into this chapter, I can, but I think that Jordan does a great job of outlining it. It's about a 45-minute chapter, well worth your time. But if you only have 15 minutes, then I appreciate you watching this video. If you guys like content like this, I would appreciate you smashing that like button. If you enjoy actually getting into the nitty-gritty of sales tactics and techniques that we can actually use in our day-to-day lives, then I would appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. There is plenty more coming. The goal is to do an analysis basically by chapter, by chunk of each sales book that we go through daily. So that way you guys have a repertoire of things you can go to, so you're always sharp as a tack going into whatever sales encounter you need to be, whether you're a parent, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're in the military, police officer, whatever it may be. So appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have any comments, questions, concern, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Again, we got lots of stuff in the description. If you guys want to sign up for Audible, if you want your 2 free stocks, if you wanted to know what I filmed this video on, lots of other stuff. I'll also put the notes that I took on this chapter at the bottom of the description. And remember, 2740 comes from the amount of money you need to make in one day to be a millionaire in 1 year. That's $2,740 times 365 days in a year. That makes you $1,100,000. And you can take that $100, invest it in Webull, and you get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400. All right, guys, stay safe out there. Get your head down. Keep grinding. Start implementing this stuff. Don't get too wrapped up in the news. It's banana land out there right now. And I will see you guys tomorrow.